Apartments are supposed to give us a place to belong, a mailing address, a key, a number on a door, proof that we exist. But what happens when the place you call home takes that away? What happens when the walls around you don't just hold your life? They erase it? This is the story of a building whispered about in hushed tones by former tenants, a place they call the apartment that erases your identity. It started in New York City, 1979. The Renton Arms was an old red brick building in Manhattan, not far from Central Park. Affordable, convenient. The kind of place where struggling artists, young couples, and students would move in with dreams of making it big. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Tenants signed their leases, collected their keys, and settled in. But then the strange reports began. A college student named David told friends he had forgotten his own birthday. Not just the date, but the year. His driver's license disappeared from his wallet, as if it had never existed. When his parents called, he answered, "Who are you?" Another tenant, a young woman named Patricia, went to work one morning and froze when her coworkers asked who she was. Not because they were teasing, but because they didn't remember her. Her desk was empty. Her name wasn't on the payroll. It was as though Patricia had never worked there at all. By the early 1980s, rumors spread quickly through the city. New tenants moving into the Renton Arms vanished from public records. Social security numbers deactivated. Birth certificates missing from county files. Bank accounts closed without explanation. It was as though the building itself was erasing their existence, piece by piece. And worse, residents inside the building began forgetting each other. Neighbors who once shared meals or drinks in the courtyard would pass each other in the hallways, blank-faced, as if they were strangers. Friendships evaporated. Even families broke apart. One mother woke up to find her own daughter asking, "Who are you? Why are you in my apartment?" Within weeks, the little girl was gone. Police searched. No missing child reports could be filed. It was as if she had never been born. The building earned a reputation. Rent dropped to nearly nothing. But still, desperate tenants kept moving in, and each time the pattern repeated. People went in and slowly vanished. Not physically, not at first, but on paper, in memory, in identity. By the 1990s, journalists tried to investigate. One reporter, Anna Torres, spent 3 weeks inside. At first, she filed daily updates, detailing strange sensations in the hallways, like walking through static. She described mirrors in her apartment fogging over, even without steam, and when she wiped them clean, her reflection didn't match. But on the 22nd day, her notes stopped. When her editor tried to call, her number was disconnected. He went to the building himself, but no one by her name had ever signed the lease. When he checked her desk back at the office, her nameplate was gone. Her articles had no byline. It was as though Anna Torres had never been hired. Paranormal researchers speculated that the Renton Arms was sitting on a fracture in reality, a place where identity itself unraveled. Some claimed the original architect had experimented with esoteric symbols, carving them into the foundation, glyphs meant to protect the tenants from outside forces. But instead of protecting them, the markings blurred the boundary between self and space. Others believed the building acted like a sponge, absorbing memories, names, and identities, feeding on the very concept of existence. By 2001, the city condemned the Renton Arms. Most of its apartments were empty, but the building refused to die. Squatters who broke in reported hearing voices in their rooms, whispers calling them by names that weren't theirs. One man claimed the walls addressed him as Michael, even though his name was Daniel. Within weeks, his ID changed. His landlord no longer recognized him. His own family said they didn't know him. Daniel, or Michael, was never heard from again. Today, the Renton Arms is a husk of brick and shadow. Its windows are black, its hallways silent, but locals say the building still breathes. Some claim you can see figures staring from the windows, faces blurred, as if their very features had been erased. And sometimes, letters appear on the rusted mailboxes, not typed, not printed, etched by hand. Names no one recognizes, names that don't exist anywhere else. If you ever stumble across an apartment that feels too quiet, if neighbors glance past you like you're invisible, if your reflection hesitates before you move, leave. Because some places don't just trap your body. They take your name, your memory, your proof of existence. And once the last trace of you is gone, no one will even remember you were there. The Renton Arms is still waiting, and the next lease could be yours.